Hi, this is Ishio and welcome back to A Summer with the Shiba Inu. We just went through some bad times and we got through our first arena fight, I do believe. I don't know if we made the correct options for the best results for everyone, but that's what happened. We kind of stood our ground, fought everybody off, and we survived. So now it's time to find out what we should do next. I meet with Q Lee in the night market again. She says she gathered more information about my brother. Last time we spoke, she said she tried to dig up some security camera footage. I wonder if her tip is about that. I've also tried investigating it on my own, but to no avail. I went to check out the two stations that Chunwen had rigged his MRT and transactions records to show, day after day, NJ Station and KH Station. I wonder if, instead of having rigged the records, he really did live in one of these areas after I left the island. But the transaction timestamps are caninely impossible. No dog could physically scan its pendant at the MRT gates consistently down to the millisecond. Regardless, after visiting NJ Station and KH Station, my trail had run cold. I've got no idea about Chunwen's fate. I've got no idea what he could be doing in those two locations. I'm so ashamed that I ran away, but that's what I'm trying to fix now. I want to know where he is. I want to know how he's doing. And there's just a feeling that something's wrong. Why is the set transaction time specifically at 9 and 5? Is it a hint pointing to a work facility? A dog of his ranking wouldn't have had that sort of activity pattern anyhow. Day to day, he wouldn't even use the public transport if he wished. Though I wouldn't put it past him to take transit just to try it. I order a jelly lemonade, my favourite drink. Well, second to bubble milk tea. Okay, just after I get my order and return to my seat, I spot Cutie coming in. For fun, I don't wave to her, just curious to see how long it takes her to find me. But she spots me quick. Hey, there you are. Hey, Cutie. She plops down across from me. How are you doing? I'm good, I'm okay. I hope you got something helpful for me today. I do, in fact. Though, you're not going to ask me how I'm doing? Cold and straight to business. Oh, okay. How are you doing? Cutie grins cheekily, smug that I listened. The truth is, she has grown on me, despite my efforts not to get close. After the initial distance I put between us, she's yet to demonstrate any ulterior motive. Hopefully this won't be a mistake. I've made so many mistakes in the past, trusting dogs that offer me a deal too good to be true. Well, I've been good. It's been great. Just waltzing my way around town as only a Labrador can. There, are you happy now? That response wasn't anything of substance. I didn't even need to know that. It doesn't enhance our relationship or trust. Why would you care if I asked how you're doing? At this point, I'm just messing with her. A part of me is just curious as to how she would respond. Well, your answer was also just I'm good, I'm okay. Which is typically just a canned response. By the way you said I'm okay, it makes me feel like it's not alright. So there was some information to be gleaned and therefore it wasn't useless. From that, I think I deserve to be judged based on even ground here. Okay, fine. You're right, I'm not that okay. I'm feeling a bit down. In fact, I tried poking around the two locations from the travel logs. I didn't get any results. The area was just too broad, and I know nothing about how my brother is related to the two areas. You know, I'm a bit surprised you'd even admit that you're feeling down. The Sid I researched would never say that. Yeah, I would never say anything like that to a busybody stranger like you. I stick out my tongue, trying to make it clear I'm joking. Though to be honest, I've mellowed down considerably since those arena years, if I say so myself. But you know, some habits do remain. In the re-challenged Arena 9 with Heifen yesterday, I was afraid of the sides of me it reawakened, and I was afraid of how quickly my mind relapsed to scheme ruthlessly against others. Yeah, that explains why you're still so rude and cold. Even though I'm the one that gave you the last solid lead you have about your brother. Maybe this one will make you really warm up to me. She playfully makes a flourish with her paws. I take a sip of my lemonade. The AU jelly is so juicy and refreshing. It's good. Okay, I'm listening. Well, I was able to get some security footage. The unfortunate part is that there's still no real sign of him on the dates after the final arena. Right. I suppose that's it then. The lead is that there's no trace. Say, Q Lee, Yeah, Sid, what's up? I'm gonna be frank. Her ears perk up, and she looks at me attentively, but also in a way that seems like she's bracing for a rude comment or joke. Not because I fully trust you, but it might help the investigation. You know what? I'll take it. Though my instincts tell me it's a mixture of both. You're just saying it's for the investigation, so you don't have to admit that you're starting to trust me. I grinned at her, sheepishly. That's not how this works. But anyway, back on topic. I'm really concerned about whether my brother is even... if he's even alive. Curie lets out a heavy sigh. Right, I get it. You haven't seen him in ages. I nod. You have no idea where he might be. I nod again. The island is a dangerous place. I keep nodding. For dogs that don't rank higher, like your brother. My point is, there's no reason for him to be in danger. It's more likely that he's gone into hiding. Right. I want to object. The previous day's arena encounter still comes to mind. I have the highest ranking for dog's sake, and I still get threatened and targeted. Maybe Chunwen is being targeted as well, despite not being the bearer of the feather. I think I'll tell Curie about the re-challenge arena when I have the chance. I think I trust her enough to do that. So, say he's alive. Is there anything in the footage to support that? Well, in the footage of the days before your last arena, he physically showed up at the stations at around 9 and 5. But the timestamps when the cameras captured him scanning his pendant aren't the exact same as what's on the transaction log. For example, the log shows 9:00 flat, but on the cameras, it's more of a K9 possible situation, such as 9:01:53. He would arrive on time, but since there are other dogs in front of him, he couldn't control exactly when he scans his pendant on the gate. Okay. Another interesting thing the footage shows is that he was wearing some sort of uniform. With that, she plucks a photo from the bag. It's the same uniform for a few days in a row, before the day of the final arena. I think this could be a hint. I squint and peer close to the picture. It's very blurry and hard to make out the lettering on the uniform. It's likely a logo, and just being able to have this image captured is a great lead. Do you recognise the uniform? I wish I did, but I don't. Do you? I got some ideas, but I didn't have time to double check. I'll send you a list of anything remotely similar to it, and maybe something is going to ring a bell. I guess I'm a bit surprised. The reason I didn't do a more in-depth research is that I thought you'd recognise something that your brother wore so often. Not to make you feel bad about it or anything, I'll just do a more thorough check of businesses and work facilities in the area. Well, you're right to be surprised. We are siblings after all. It's a safe assumption that I might have known something, but the truth is, we weren't living together at the time. Sure, we messaged and met up now and then, but I was focused on my high-tier arenas, and so was he. At the time, it seemed like everything was coming to an end so soon. So I just toughed it out, barely in contact with anybody. I knew he was doing well in the arenas, but who'd have known that our brackets would meet just like that? Well, it was a bracket that made the news, that's for sure. But it wasn't half as scandalous as the news when the winner just ran away with the very prized feather that kept dogs motivated to win the arenas. I mean, I knew it was unavoidable to be talked about, but I wasn't around to know what was said about me. I've still been too ashamed to ask Max about what happened after I left. I could also look up news articles, but same thing, I'm too embarrassed. Don't worry about it, it was mostly unfounded speculation. Only you know the truth of what happened, it's your life. I guess. Anyway, I'll hold on to the photo, and you should send me a list of places you think it might be from. Yeah, there's a list that I quickly generated for an image recognition search. I just haven't gone through them manually yet to see what makes sense. That can be the next step. Thanks a lot for your help. You're welcome. We still don't quite know what Curie's motivations are and why she wants to help, but okay, we'll go with it. You know what? You want to go to the 2 stations and walk around? Maybe something's going to happen. Okay, good idea. I finished my beverage and washed the sweet aftertaste down with a sip of water. I put the photo of my brother securely inside my sweater and we set off. At the MRT, I used my usual method to enter the stations, hiding my pendant face. First, we travelled to NJ Station. It's near the Central Zone, 2 stops down the Green Line from our current location. Not too far then. We decide to comb the area street by street. Cutie pulls up a map on her wrist phone and we stroll down one street and then walk around one block, covering all sides. We then move on to the next block. By the way, Cutie, I need to tell you something. Cutie looks over and nods, signaling her attention. So, I was kind of challenged to some sort of arena rematch yesterday? Cutie stops in her tracks, her expression concerned. Go on. It was one of the runner-ups from my 9th arena. Somehow she found me after my lunch with Max. I didn't believe her at first, but when she took out her pendant, mine reacted to it. We entered an arena and generated just for the two of us. But this re-challenged arena was some sort of replay of an actual arena that happened between the two of us. It was weird. I had the consciousness of me in the past arena. I don't know if that makes sense or not. It wasn't a new arena from scratch. Like I said, it was a re-challenge. That's the term the challenger used. Both of us were free to act as we wished, but the other participants in the arena all acted the same way as they did in the past, or only changed minorly in reaction to me or the challenger's new actions. It was like we were given the chance to change what we would have liked to change, and the arena would run its course with the decisions of our present selves. But I already knew what happened in the past, that's the thing. So that knowledge helped me deal with the other participants, even if I was clueless as to how the re-challenged arena worked at first. I was able to outwit the challenger herself, and so I won. And that's why I'm worried that if I'm being targeted and allowed to be re-challenged one-on-one, the same could happen to my brother as well. Cutie is silent, processing the information. Did this challenger tell you what she would be getting out of this? She said that if any re-challenger wins, they will get the feather of truth. Just like that? I shrug. She wasn't very clear about it, but my pendant reacted to hers, so I imagine something was programmed in place. You remember how, in official ARI-regulated arenas, we get those rooms that are connected to the emulated reality with our pendants? Our pendants still connected us, but this time out in the open, not in the ARI buildings, and just one-on-one. Interesting, and kinda weird, but I do believe it. Though, it's so unfair that they could just take the feather if they win. Decades of your hard work down the drain just like that? Perhaps it is unfair, and maybe it's just righting the wrong that the feather went to someone like me. Sounds like someone's feeling awfully guilty about the whole feather bearer thing. Guilty? I guess I've never kept it a secret from Max. You'd be surprised how offended dogs get when you have second thoughts about the prize dangled in front of their noses year after year, while they were forced to participate in the arenas. It's not like every dog cares about the feather. Most just want high rankings, so they can do as they please on the island. You can live a life just fine without the feather itself, which is not the sole purpose of the arenas. I just feel hypocritical speaking ill of holding such power, when I'm the one that holds it. Yeah, the feather's a weird thing. We kind of teleported one time. As we continue walking, I spot a sign that has similar red lettering on Chunweng's uniform in the photo, and I take it out to compare. Okay, do you think this could be it? Is it Mamau Enterprises? See, red font, slightly slanted. It's missing the oval around it though. Yeah, you're right. Features font size, colour, perhaps one hot encoding of flourishes around the words. What are you talking about? Oh, sorry, it's just a habit. Let's keep looking. We head down the next block. Cutie pulls up the hologram map and marks the route we've walked so far. I'm just wondering, what were you expecting when you were gunning for the feather? Like, what did you plan to do with it after you won? If you had any specific plans at all, really, you know. Well, it's funny, because in the very beginning, as a pup, I wasn't interested in the feather in the slightest. The challenger from yesterday was actually one of the dogs that spurred me to aim higher than I would have. Her name is Hayfen. That name rings a bell. Didn't you two have a really big fallout? I remember reading about it in a news article. Yeah, I guess that did happen. Do you want to talk about it? I'm not sure. Oh, come on, just a bit. You seem to have something to say. Tell her what I think about the fallout, even if it sounds horrible. Do that one. Okay. It's just difficult to talk about after I've tried so hard to bury it, but I might as well tell you just a little bit. It was Arena 9, I guess. By that time, I already had a reputation for winning my past arenas, all of them. Dogs were intimidated, and dealt with that in various ways. For example, you know that superstition that dogs with white dots on their front legs or have white paws are unnatural? Quill nods. From my research, I found that Heifeng had stated you're a white dot in many interviews, meaning you're a descendant from a family with a very violent history in the arenas. She used it to support her claims that you killed Fanshu on purpose. You already know so much, okay. Why did you ask me about the fallout then? Well, things that happen can be looked up in the archives, and you can tell me your real thoughts and feelings on it. I guess so. I mean, she wasn't wrong. I do have a white dot, but I have no idea why it even matters. Some distant ancient ancestral tie to dogs I have no idea about. Plus, assuming everyone with a white dot is evil is just putting nature 100% over nurture. It's an excuse to justify how I won over her, in my honest opinion. But yeah, the real issue is that I really liked Heifeng. I actually wanted us to win together. Now that I look back, I've got no idea why I was attracted to her. I would have even thrown the match so she could win, before the betrayal happened. You see, after that arena, I learned not to trust any dogs. Don't make any real alliances. If I did, I was mentally prepared for them to betray me at any point. I was ready to do the same. Heifeng's betrayal taught me that what I needed was freedom. Freedom from other dogs' wants and desires. Without that freedom, I will always be at the mercy of another. It seemed reasonable that in order to be free of the whims of other dogs, I would need to hold all the power for myself. I glanced at Quill, who's been silent. Hopefully it's not boring her, but she asked. Sorry, went on for a bit of a rant there. Am I losing you? Nah, you're fine, go on. So yeah, that's what happened, and there you have it, my honest opinion. Maybe my reaction to the betrayal was overly dramatic, burned by a romantic attraction that was spreading rumours that I'm a white dot murderer. Time to take over the island. But I was young, and choosing to make the most of it took me far in the end. I do regret how I was. You could have called me Rufus in the arenas, but I'd say I was more pragmatic. It seems like you're just trying to justify your guilt, just like Heifeng was. Yeah, right in the kokoro. Sometime later, alright. We cover another 2 blocks, scanning the signage for the logo on my brother's uniform, with some false alarms. I take some photos of those we confirmed to not be a match, just in case. Of course, I also photograph the ones that are still ambiguous. I wonder if I could figure out which dogs are going to challenge me. I suppose it's only dogs that have participated in the arena with you, hence the re-challenge. Yeah, the fact that the re-challenge arena held the state all the memories of what happened in the past points to them being against dogs I have competed against. So, Quill, have you ever been in them? I have. But it's strange, it's more like I have memories of them. What do you mean? You know the whole waking up feeling? Like your consciousness is a bit woozy, like the memories created in the arenas are trying to fuse into your physical body? Yeah, I kinda get it. The way I think it works is that the memories are being downloaded back into your physical body. That might be what you're describing. Yeah, I do have memories, but not the feeling you get when you know a memory isn't 100% correct. Like the corresponding muscle memory isn't there. Okay, I don't think I noticed a lack of muscle memory. To me, it felt like I did physically carry out the actions in the arenas. Though, that could have just been the trick of the mind, to reconcile my memories with my physical body. I wonder if your Labrador physique, or something genetic, isn't fully compatible with the ARI hardware, if the muscle memory is something that is completely absent. Maybe. We walk along in comfortable silence. We're almost at the end of the last street we plan to scan manually. It's funny how this feels like a regular afternoon in Caneinder, strolling down the street with the lab chit-chatting. I'm so curious how she ended up here. Maybe she's also a type of feather holder. What if she's a descendant of the fabled species of dogs that once lived on the island? Wow, my imagination is pretty wild sometimes. Either way, I think her actions so far make her just trustworthy enough. Although, there's still the deeply rooted thorn in my heart, the fear of another betrayal. But I wonder, will Quill be different? So, Quill, I don't normally ask this, I really don't, but what is your rank? No worries, I figured you'd want to know. Wouldn't want to entrust your personal feelings and information to some random dog. She takes out her pendant and flips it face up to show me. 9 large orbs are filled, with 7 of the smaller ones filled. 97? Not bad. Thanks for showing me. Cutie puts her pendant back in her jacket. No problem. We look down at the last few buildings in the area. Doesn't seem like there's anything matching. Your brother's hint might be pointing to areas even further from the MRT station. Like I said, I'll run a graphical analysis first thing when I get back. Okay, thanks. I should go, but let me know what you find. Okay, Commander Sid. See you back on the Normandy. Laters. Why do I feel like she just made a joke that I'm not getting? Okay, what happens next? Back at base, I'm lounging on the chair in Max's apartment, waiting for him to get home. Last night I woke up, back on the bed in the apartment. I vaguely remember Max carrying me up, so I guess I wasn't fully passed out. I wasn't fully conscious either. A dog's body uses up nutrients while the mind is in the comatose arena state, which is why the ARI hooks us up to all those life support things in the official arenas. Good thing that after a good sleep and meal, I felt well enough to meet with Cooley. Just then, I hear the locks clicking, and in steps Max. There you are. How's it going? How you doing? You're up. He sets down his bag by the desk. When did you wake up? Around noon? Thanks for the food. In the morning, I had woken to take out egg crepes and a note on the dining table. It was from Max and said to eat as much as I wanted and to text him if I felt unwell. You know exactly how much I love egg crepes. How could I forget, after watching you eat them every single day for 3 years straight? And that's what you ordered at Q Restaurant, so I knew right then you hadn't changed. Oh, I know. Sometimes I'm an open book. Definitely a creature of habit. Max makes a face. How was your day? What are you up to? Well, I went to meet with Cutie. She said she had a lead. I put out the photo of my brother and show it. He takes it wordlessly and scrutinises it. Oh wow, she managed to get the security footage. That's an amazing clue. She must have really good sources. Yeah, I'm starting to think there's something fishy about that. I noticed that Max has a strange expression on his face and doesn't seem to have heard me, so I look at him to see if he's going to say something. He doesn't respond immediately. You didn't tell me you were going to meet with the lab. I mean, not that you had to. It makes me worry that you'd go without messaging me, just in case. He seems upset. I'm sure he's just looking out for me. Plus, now that we know dogs can re-challenge me, not to mention me fainting yesterday, it's reasonable that he'd worry that something dangerous could happen again. However, I wouldn't have gone if I didn't think I could take care of myself. Still, I should speak carefully. I know Max. He wouldn't bring it up unless he really cared about it. What do I say? Explain my reasoning, apologise, change topic. It's weird. There seems to be two main people that we have friends with. We got Max and then we got Cutie. And I don't know if they're enemies or something. Let's try and keep them both sweet. I'm sorry. Wonderful. It took me 17.7 seconds. Oh wow. Did I take too long to respond? Look, Max, I can tell that you're worried and I'm sorry. I'll tell you next time I go out when you're at work, just in case, okay? Yeah, that's fine. I know you can take care of yourself, but I just want to help in case something like last night happens again. Yeah, fainting out in the open really didn't help my case, did it? Max's expression softens and he laughs. No way. So, back to before I distracted you. You were saying there might be something strange about Cutie? Yeah, after meeting her today, something's on my mind. Like you said, she has really good contacts. She seems to know dogs' ranks as well. Even I don't know where to start looking for that, so I can't imagine how difficult it might be for the general public. However, she does have a really high rank. So I wonder, she could be using her rank to get information, in which case I'm not too happy about it. Or she works at the ARI. So you're saying that information might be classified, so she either used her rank rights or simply has direct access to it herself? Yeah, either or. It's silly of me not to know much about the allocated Reality Institute itself. I should have learned more about their operations before I left the island. Do they really allow such loopholes for information leaks like rank rights? Max's tone turned serious. Sid is perfectly within the lab's right to use her rank rights. I doubt that any ARI member would be an exception to this. Any dog has to obey the dog whose rank is above them. It's the purpose of the ARI to determine who on the island is deserving, and to separate the good dogs from the bad. I grimace. The rights to alter reality are allocated accordingly. My voice is just a croak. Even after so many years, I still remember the dogma of the ARI. Okay, now imagine having to hear it again and again day after day. I fell for the allocated reality institution's promise of a dream. We all fell for it. Max sighs. It's the way things work. Even if you don't use rank rights, everybody else is still going to do it. If Quill did, would you hate her? I mean, it wouldn't be fair to hate her. I think I'd be disappointed, and yeah, it would be unfair to judge her for using her rank rights. I've tried to use my rank rights as little as possible, but I've used it before. I can't enforce my values onto someone else. Either way, I'll try to get the information out of Quill on what her sources are. Does anyone know the typical ranks of dogs that work at the ARI itself anyway? Got no idea. I think their members are kept secret, but I've heard that dogs that are keen on the ARI position aim for very high ranks. I see. Be careful, Sid, I mean it. I really hope the ARI itself isn't out to get you. Especially now that random dogs on the street can just kidnap you and force you into an arena. Wow, I certainly hope the ARI isn't after me. I'd like to see him try though. I'm worried, but it's actually kind of fun. I thank you for getting breakfast for me, but totally forgot. Thanks for bringing me back last night. Oh, no problem. You were kind of awake, but definitely not awake enough to get back by yourself. I was prepared to stay till the arena was done, no matter how long it took in real-world hours. Yeah, even though time passes much quicker in the arena, there's no telling how much time it might last, right? How was Hafen after we woke from the arena, by the way? I called a cab for her. I woke her up enough to ask her to pay with her own dependent. Speaking of which, how much was it? I'll transfer you some tags. Don't worry about it. I mean, I already see where this is going. You'd insist because you feel bad? My face grows red, though I know he's just joking. But buy me a drink next time, okay? Okay, done deal. Just then I get an email. Who dis? I've attached a sheet of company names and their logos generated from their image recognition. Okay, Q's back in touch. I've included the raw list, as well as marked down ones I would delete after checking manually, but I've just left them in case you spot something. Got it, thanks. Okay, let's download these files. Say, Max, do you want to help me go through these? Sure. We spent some time going through the sheet. In the end, we still have a quite long list of logos that could be a match. I've got an idea. Hey, QL, could you do a search of where the companies are located physically? Sure thing, one sec. Moments later, I get a message. Okay, let's have a look at this. Perfect. New columns have been added to the dataset with the addresses as well as geohashes. Wow, so reliable. I plot the locations onto a map, leaving only the ones that are within a certain radius to NJ station and KH station. I tinker around with how large the radius should be, eventually settling on encompassing just up to the stations preceding and following them and their MRT lines. If you had really left some hint related to location, it wouldn't make sense if it was somewhere too far from the two stations. It's amazing this can all work on wrist phones. Yeah, I know, right? I remember when you had to do even lightweight work on computers. In K9, I worked for technology research, and we were using the equivalents to desktop computers here for most things. The processing power of phones isn't as advanced there. Things in general aren't as convenient, but at my work, basically, we were responsible for developing and improving technologies, hardware, software. I took a lot of inspiration from what existed on the island. I bet you had quite some suggestions for them. I did. When I left, technology on the island was still more advanced than K9 though. So I was able to repurpose some of the software for use in K9. The logs I worked with were brilliant and came up with most of the implementation based on their current hardware capabilities. As we chat, I sent Max a copy of the data. Upon receiving the mail notification, he pulls it up. Okay, let's go through the data points first. You do station KH and I'll do NJ. Max nods in agreement and we pore over the map with a renewed focus. One by one, we examine the details of each company on the shortlist, in case there's something of significance based on the exterior appearance or the types of goods or services it provides. Okay, look at this one. He points to a name on his hologram map. Obsidian Rock Industries, office location 9th floor. This could be it. No, this must be it. I'll go through the rest of them just to be sure there's nothing else. Yeah, I think I could catch this one because I know enough about you. But if there's an even more obvious hint than Obsidian Rock, you'd be the best dog to catch it. Yeah, you're right. Either way, there might be something else to look for, since Obsidian Rock is near KH Station. There might be a clue near NJ Station too. Yeah. I continue looking down my map. I'm around halfway through and nothing really rings a bell. There's a bunch of coffee shops, but all of them had opened after I left. Even if Chewin had wanted a hint at somewhere we went together, I couldn't reliably say if I could recognise it by name or pictures. It's been over a decade, my memory isn't that good, and the establishments might have gone through renovations. Hey Sid, I looked at the company. Their website is really bare bones. It just lists their address and has a picture of the exterior of the building. Nothing about what they do. Okay, that's weird. I'll pay it a visit tomorrow. I put up my messages and debate whether to tell Q or not. I'm still not 100% sure if she might be an agent for the ARI or something. Right now, my instincts are telling me, oh, I don't know. I'm gonna say no. I don't have enough proof to be sure, though. I decide to tell her either way. After all, it's not like my brother would just be living at the Obsidian Rock Industries office address. Knowing him is probably just one step in several more to actually find him. So, even if Cutie does work for the ARI, this wouldn't be the last step to finding him. I might still need her help. When push comes to shove, I could still double-cross her later. And since Obsidian Rock is one of his hints, it means that only myself and other dogs I've known for long enough could plausibly decipher it. Though given Cutie's track record, I can't rule out the possibility that she already knows the significance of Obsidian Rock, or could find out. In the case that she hasn't figured it out yet, I suppose there's no harm in just telling her the name, but not the meaning. When the investigation reaches a point where she cannot proceed on her own, I will no longer be dependent on her for new leads. Basically, I will use her help as much as possible, with the new complication that she might be a double agent. Maybe I shouldn't worry so much. Chun Weng must have put in some safeguards to prevent a random third party from finding him. Let's hope that my trust in him doesn't jeopardize him. Yo, can you look up information about Obsidian Rock Industries? It's near KH Station. Okay. It's pretty funny though. Chunwin and I used to play scavenger hunt games like this. Before the arenas, before everything, we were just puppies living on the plains. Living your merry life with the prod dogs? Okay, it's been so many years and you can't come up with new jokes. Old habits die hard, dude. Okay, I guess it's still kind of funny. Makes my stomach hurt kind of funny, and it's hurting in a bad way. Damn, I've lived a decade in peace away from these jokes on the island. I deserve this, seeing as I used to make fun of prods with even more gusto, with real venom too. Okay, so we have done some major investigations, and we are going to try and find our brother. So okay, we'll see you in the next video.